This is cards, an interpretation of the tarot, written from intuition, on the back of some old business cards of mine. So we start with the Six of Wands, and the ends, the wands being sticks of dynamite. In the corner, there are clouds filled with eyes, and there's a train that we can assume the dynamite is going to be used to derail or injure the track in some way. On the ends of the dynamite are 3 6s and 3 9s. I like to think that the eyes in the clouds can be like, pressure, the world's pressures, intense pressure, and the dynamite is being used to accelerate some sort of disconnection, but it could benefit you. It could benefit you to burn a bridge, to set boundaries, and kind of derail, the oppression and the foot of culture that's on your back. The train can be interpreted as culture. I should say that the majority of these cards are major arcana. I think I completed the wand suit and the major arcana, but this is just a set of cards that I found in my briefcase. That keeps some of my art supplies, and so this is just what I have to show currently. This is the Hanged Man, a particular card that I am fond of, that I think speaks to certain stages that I've undergone where it just seemed that, I was being psychically assailed. And not to consider it submission, but there is a certain personality that allows you to overcome, the feeling that things are immutable. And in some way you lean into this stress, this antagonism or adversity, I guess you could say. And so we have a hanged man who is also at the top of a summit of a mountain. A coiled snake is below his head. His legs form a sigil for Lucifer, and his most extended part of his body is also the snake. And so in this way of the snake amplified through the hangman, um, you know, the the opposite forces that we face, um, we we can take a moment for education. We can take a moment for, um, you know, uh, we can take a moment to dissect and uh, digest, you know, the life we've been born into, the race that we're mistaken for, the race, the all the parts of our identity that we survive only because we retain the attributes of saints. The hangman is based off of uh, Saint John. This is my take on the 20th card of Judge Mint, and what I kind of interpret this symbol is Hermes with a winged helmet, with my monogram, my sigil on the helmet. Um, a certain kind of cross is like a horn on the helmet, or you know, some sort of uh, addition. But the face of Hermes is actually rocks in a river, and the river's flowing around the rocks. And there's a trumpet right underneath Hermes. And so, with this kind of fatty face and the idea that there's a trumpet, you might even think this could be Louis Armstrong. And so, Louis Armstrong is calling the spirits out of their graves. This card is about, you know, in the Rider Waite system, it is it depicts souls coming out of their caskets on the day of judgment to enter heaven. And so in my view, Louis Armstrong and New Orleans jazz is a calling for the spirit to ready itself for its final journey. This card is maybe the second version of the Hermit that I tried. I might have done something different, but if you recall, the Hermit symbol is very simple. But during this time, I simply believed that I was a bit of a hermit, but maybe that moment of growth was, you know, something I can't judge. The body is exposed, the inner organs and the genital and the brain that's lit on fire is in the right side. And and so my body and its limitations and psychosis um, and different influence just from my energy, the energy that I had each day was one of my deepest meditations during this time. And so this whole image is an anchor. It forms an anchor, and the lantern is in the center. My mind was completely absorbed into um, nature, and so the kind of wise man with the sun hat in the top left is a manifestation of the processes of my mind, but that were played out, um, you know, without much interference on my part. And I think Hermeticism is kind of um, you know there's some very deep body um, wisdom and that you encounter on that particular stage, but you you learn how to transmute um, your energy into uh, creativity just all the time. I think that's what this card kind of represents to me. Um, this is an interesting card. It's a horned, kind of faceless skull that has broken the scale of justice. Um, and music is somehow a part of this breakage. And I just kind of think about music, and I think about how, in the 60s and 70s, you had psychedelic music, and psychedelic music like Sly and the Family Stone and the Beatles and Jimi Hendrix. Um, it really challenged the order of things. People went inside themselves and found the future synchronicity. They realized perhaps that, as time was going to go on, things would change. But they had to speak to this time that they were in. And music can also be a psychopomp. It can lead you through the spiritual realm. It can stir you from the material kind of meditations that are so common. Um, and so it breaks the scale, or perhaps it's watching the scale break, because um, It's perhaps one of the least valued things in reality, um, is the ability to engage with music. This is one of my favorite cards that I developed. I mostly did the major arcana in order, so this was like the second card I made after the Fool, and it's just really cool. I kind of have this, outline of a man. He's the magician, and he's balancing an apple on his head, holding an apple in his hand. That is also possibly the innards of a skeleton, and a piercing vision. DNA is an energy that's being transmitted from the skeleton to the magician. The magician has a Zulu shield and a symbol of the wilderness on the shield. There's like a candle or a fairy in the top right. And I like the magician card. It's technically a card about having mastery over the will and the elements, and manifesting without the need for tools. And so I kind of look at the magician that I've created here as as someone whose form does not impede their ability to learn and be creative. Yeah. This is another one of my favorite cards from the one suit that I drew. To me, I feel like this is a prophecy about my mother's illness. I can't tell you what the Knight of Wands means in actuality. Again, these were drawn from intuition. So the the wild thing is that these images have to do with me kind of looking at the Raider Waite or whatever system I was looking at, but then drawing my own interpretation. And so I kind of view this as like a jigsaw carnival, and God being with you in the midst of illness, and magic just being tied to your body, and uh, you know, this person has their eyes closed. Their eyes are either closed or open, but their illness is a puzzle. It's a puzzle that we wonder how can we be born, experience love, and then witness so much pain. You know, if we're just spirits, where is the magic? Where is the spiritual aid that can deliver us from the pain? So the chariot is about, in some definitions, um, returning from a journey with supreme knowledge. Um, and I've kind of illustrated a tank instead of a chariot. And inside of the tank is like a chimera or a serpent man emperor, as is the case in the original chariot card. Um, there's a door, perhaps in the back, with a broken door has been taken off of the door. And I kind of look at this as like, you know, the journey was informed by culture. You left your home to go confront the evil that culture told you about. And along the way, you decide where you lie along all those paradoxes about pain and death. And I feel like the supreme knowledge is the ability to pierce through the common cultural values, the common hegemony, and be able to speak and create lasting change with other people. Yep. This is my favorite card that I've illustrated. Immediately, you can sense that I've created a parallel between the Devil card and the Lover's card. And really, there is a parallel. In the Rider-Waite, except with the Lovers, the angel Gabriel or Michael is over them. But in this case, I have some kind of all-father who is also the harvest. Maybe he's Dionysus. His horns are the hedge of a vineyard or the rows of a farm. His organs are melons and pumpkins and squash. and a man and a woman celebrate the harvest and work faithfully, honestly, and truthfully in a partnership to create more uh, blessings um, and fruits. Speaking of fruits, this is the Emperor. And around this time, I was wearing an eye patch. And I felt that wearing the eye patch took some, uh, it limited the ability of my third eye to kind of cause me psychic pain. I felt that if I kept both my eyes open, not only would I stop blinking to the light seemed brighter during this time. Um, Not only would that happen, but I felt that my skeleton and I felt that my body was being scanned often. And as I wore the eye patch, um, that that kind of scanning vision maybe went more through my thoughts and meditations. And so that's why the crown of the emperor has eyes, is because the vision that he has progressed from is now in his head. There are many more cards that I made, but I can't find them. So this is all you guys get for now. Thanks.